Don't go, please don't go. Her voice trembled, soft but desperate, cutting through the quiet of the private dining hall. It's my birthday. If you've ever felt like one moment could change everything, like walking away might be easier, but staying could rewrite a life, then stay with this story till the very end. And if stories like this touch your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because what unfolds next is about love, loss, and the courage it takes to stay when leaving feels safer. The single dad froze with his hand on the door handle. He hadn't expected those words. He had come for one reason only, to deliver the catering invoice and quietly leave. That was his rule: do the job, don't get noticed, don't get involved. Especially not with someone like her. A billionaire. A woman whose name appeared on magazine covers and business headlines. A woman who lived in a world he had never belonged to. Her name was Eliza Hartwell, and tonight was her 42nd birthday. The entire building, an iconic glass tower overlooking the city, was lit in gold. Chefs, assistants, security, and staff had prepared a celebration so grand it could have been mistaken for a royal event. Yet when the last guest left, when the music faded and the laughter disappeared, the silence became unbearable. That was when she noticed him. Daniel Reyes. A single father of one. A widower. A man who had learned how to survive quietly. Daniel had lost his wife 5 years earlier to a sudden illness that didn't care about plans or promises. One morning she was laughing with their daughter, Sophia, and 2 weeks later Daniel was standing alone at a grave, holding a tiny hand that squeezed his fingers as if afraid he might disappear too. From that day on, Daniel made a promise, to be everything his daughter needed, even if it meant shrinking his own dreams. He worked 3 jobs at different times in his life. Tonight, he was running a small catering service with 2 employees in a borrowed van. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the rent, kept food on the table, and allowed him to tuck Sophia into bed every night. That was enough. Eliza Hartwell had watched him throughout the evening without realizing why. He wasn't loud. He wasn't flashy. He didn't try to impress anyone. While others hovered around her, eager for attention, Daniel worked in the background, fixing small problems before anyone noticed them. A spilled drink, a loose tablecloth, a nervous server. He handled everything calmly, patiently, like a man used to carrying weight without complaint. When midnight struck, everyone sang. Cameras flashed. Eliza smiled the smile the world expected from her. But inside, something ached. Because not one person singing knew her favorite childhood memory. Not one of them knew she hated birthdays. Not one of them had been there when she sat alone at age 12, waiting for parents who never came home. Her parents had died in a car accident when she was young. Money came later. Success came later. But loneliness had been there first, and it never really left. When the last guest departed and the hall emptied, Eliza sat at the long table staring at a cake no one would eat. That was when Daniel approached to say goodbye, professional and polite. "Everything is settled, Ms. Hartwell," he said. "I'll email the final receipt." She looked up at him, startled, as if she'd forgotten he was still there. "You're leaving?" "Yes, ma'am." And then it happened. The mask slipped. The billionaire, who negotiated billion-dollar deals without blinking, whispered, "Don't go, please don't go. It's my birthday." Daniel had never seen vulnerability like that in someone so powerful. For a moment, he saw not the empire builder, but a woman sitting alone at her own celebration. I'm sorry," he said gently. "I didn't mean." "You didn't do anything wrong," she interrupted. Everyone else left. They always do. He should have walked out. He knew that. Lines mattered. Boundaries mattered. He had a daughter waiting at home. He had no business stepping into her world. But something in her eyes, something painfully familiar, stopped him. It was the same look Sophia had worn after her mother's funeral when guests stopped visiting and casseroles stopped arriving. Loneliness didn't care how much money you had. He sat down, just for a moment. "Happy birthday," he said quietly. They talked. At first, it was small things. Food, work, the city lights outside the window. Then, slowly, deeper truths surfaced. Eliza spoke about building her company from nothing, about nights sleeping in her office, about trusting no one because trust had once taken everything from her. Daniel spoke about Sophia, about grief, about learning how to braid hair badly but trying anyway. For the first time that night, Eliza laughed, not the polished laugh for cameras, but a real one that surprised even her. But life doesn't change without resistance. The next morning, Eliza couldn't stop thinking about him. About how safe she'd felt. How seen. She asked her assistant to find his business and offered him a long-term contract. Daniel hesitated. The money would help. A lot. But stepping closer to her world meant risking something he had carefully protected, his heart, and his daughter's stability. When Sophia met Eliza for the first time, she hid behind Daniel's leg. Eliza knelt down anyway, eye level, and said, "Hi. I hear you're the bravest girl in the world." Sophia blinked. "Daddy says that." "Then your daddy must be very smart," Eliza replied. Slowly, walls fell. But not without consequences. The media noticed. A billionaire spending time with a catering owner. Rumors exploded. Blogs twisted stories. Eliza's board questioned her judgment. Daniel overheard whispers at Sophia's school. One afternoon, Sophia came home quiet. "Did I do something wrong?" she asked. "No, sweetheart." "Why?" "Someone said rich people don't like us." Daniel's chest tightened. That night, he decided to leave. To protect his daughter. To return to the quiet life he understood. He showed up at Eliza's office to end things before they even began. That was when she said it again, tears in her eyes. "Don't go, it's my birthday," she said, though it wasn't. What she meant was something deeper. "Don't leave me alone again." Daniel finally spoke the truth. "I'm not afraid of you," he said. "I'm afraid of losing my daughter. I've already lost too much." Eliza listened. For once, she didn't try to control the outcome. She made a choice, not as a billionaire, but as a woman. She stepped back from the spotlight. Set boundaries with the media. Showed up to Sophia's school play quietly, sitting in the back row. She learned to fit into their world instead of pulling them into hers.